Welcome back. Those were the main headlines and more details. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received a member of the Eminent Figures Committee of the African Mechanism, Joseph Tankan, in Cairo on Saturday. Presidential spokesman Ambassador Ala Yousef said the president hailed the role played by the African Mechanism to support African nations in developing concepts of democracy and enhancing its efforts in assessing African countries in the fields of democracy, economic management and wise ruling. President al-Sisi expressed Egypt's keenness to facilitate the work of the National Committee, pointing to procedures Egypt had made in the fields of democracy despite its suffering from terrorism. The president asserted that Egypt was looking forward to expanding its cooperation with African countries in various fields. On the social front, the president referred to efforts underway to develop health and education sectors beside an ambitious program to eradicate slums and provide adequate houses for million citizens who live in slums by the end of 2017. Al-Sisi also discussed with the African official executive and legislative measures for providing an attractive investment climate. They reviewed the government's success in confronting the energy and electricity problem. For his part, Ken stressed the deep and strong ties that bind Egypt with Africa, hailing its achievements to realize a political, economic and social stability during the past 2 years. The meeting was attended by Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry. The Cairo Criminal Court on Saturday sentenced ousted President Mohamed Morsi to life in prison in an espionage trial in which 6 co-defendants were handed death penalties. The court acquitted Morsi of charges of having supplied Qatar with classified documents, but sentenced him to life for leading an unlawful organization. More details.
Ousted President Mohamed Morsi was handed another life sentence after the Cairo Criminal Court found him guilty of espionage and leaking state secrets. The court said the death penalty had been approved for 6 others accused alongside Morsi, including 3 journalists sentenced in absentia. The journalists have been identified as Ibrahim Mohammed and Jordanian citizen Ala Omar Mohammed Sablan, both of Qatar-based Al Jazeera channel. The third has been named as Asma Mohammed Al-Khatib, a female reporter with the pro-Brotherhood news outlet Rust. The defendants are accused of espionage and leaking national security documents to the Gulf state of Qatar. The death sentences had been sent to the Mufti, Egypt's official interpreter of Islamic law, as Egyptian law requires his opinion on death sentence penalties, although his opinion is non-binding. The verdicts can be appealed. Morsi, leader of the Brotherhood terrorist organization, has already been sentenced in 3 other cases, including the death penalty for a mass jailbreak during the 2011 revolution and a life sentence for spying on behalf of the Palestinian group Hamas. 2 other defendants had worked hard in Morsi's office were sentenced to life in prison. Prosecutors argue that Morsi and his aides were involved in leaking sensitive documents to Qatari intelligence that exposed the location of weapons held by Egyptian armed forces. All of the defendants can appeal the verdict to the Egyptian Court of Cassation, the country's highest civil court.
Search teams have recovered the second flight recorder of the Egypt airplane that crashed in the Mediterranean and that could prove vital in establishing the cause of the crash. Investigators said search teams had managed to recover the Airbus A320's flight data recorder, which gathers information, among other things, about the speed, altitude and direction of the plane, a day after they retrieved its cockpit voice recorder. According to investigators, the data recorder was found in several pieces. It was not immediately clear how much of its data would be usable. The voice recorder was due to be transferred from the port city of Alexandria to Cairo, where investigators, supported by French experts and representatives of manufacturer Airbus, will analyze its contents. At least 7 people